At the moment, we kind of have two of the best teams really in Europe that are really struggling mightily at the moment, like in their leagues. Like both Barca and Man City lost at the weekend, and they're both like their title race in their respective leagues is almost out of reach for them. And it's only November.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy, and to be fair, it's not been great seasons. That even last season we've seen both teams not doing brilliantly well. So it's it's sort of extended into this season as well. There's a lot of factors towards why they're not been playing well.
Yeah, I mean Barca just kind of a mess at the back at the defense. Like, and now with like Piqué is going to be out multiple months with a knee injury, I read, and also Sergio Roberto came up with an injury in the game against Atletico Madrid, and Mtiti is still injured. So kind of their back four is kind of all over the place, and that was their weakness to begin with.
Yeah, I agree, and their defense is a major weakness, and especially how they've been spending money on it as well. They've been trying to bring players. We've seen it with Semedo that they brought in, but that didn't work out. He wasn't playing well alongside Messi on that flank. Since Dani Alves, they've really struggled to find someone to play on that side. They've been playing Sergio Roberto there. However, he's not a natural right back. He hasn't got the pace or ability to play at that position. So that's a factor as well. So they have been spending a lot of money. We've seen it with Umtiti as well. They're just not performing as well, and I think they're heavily relying on Jordi Alba and Pique, who have been there since the beginning, really, of when Barca were really good. So
Yeah, I mean, just their spending in general, like the transfer window has been atrocious. Like it doesn't make sense.
yes,
I mean, you lost to like big parts of your team in Rakitic and Suarez, and you lost them to like direct competitors in the league. And
yeah,
they didn't spend any money. Like they didn't sign a single defender. I mean, they signed Serginho Dest, but he's 19 and he's supposed to be kind of maybe the right back of the future, but like I don't think he's ready yet. And then like the Portuguese winger Trincao and Pedri, they both have been bought like I think in last like in January or like before, so they weren't really
yeah.
like Koeman's guys that he really wanted.
No, and just that leads on to the financial situation which Barca's at the moment in. They've had to offload a load of players. So, like as you said, Suarez, Rakitic, Arturo Vidal, they've sold them for dirt cheap compared to what they paid for them. And it's mainly because of wages. They're trying to cut down on wages. They're paying so much wages. They're paying so much to Messi that they just can't afford to pay all these other star players the wages that they're on. So they've had to literally offload them, and that's down to poor business really as well, and poor financial uh, management from the directors at the club. So that's actually one of the reasons why Barca are playing so badly is because of this financial problem that they've had. They've had to get rid of players, poor signings. They got rid of a great player in Artur, who was when they first got him, he was meant to be the next Xavi,
Yeah,
and
I
they've
mean,
just
and this,
offloaded him.
yeah, I mean, they
Yeah,
swapped him
20
for Pjanic, who's already like 30
Pjanic.
years old. Like,
Exactly. So they got rid of a 23-year-old future star who at the moment is playing good football with Juventus. They've got rid of him and brought in. Don't get me wrong, Pjanic is a star player, but it's not good business. They've done it just to offload wages, like I said. Um,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
just poor management.
I get the
Yeah,
financial aspect of it, but still, like on paper, this team should still play way better than they are. I mean, you can
yeah,
just
of course.
look at Griezmann alone. Like, I don't know what the hell happened to him. Like, he's just been completely off for the past 2 seasons. He's been just like skating by. Like, he has just 2 goals so far in 8 games. And last
Yeah,
season, he only had 9 goals in the entire season. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, you bought him
I
for
agree. Yeah,
goals. He just doesn't fit into this team. I think that was
it
complete
doesn't.
mistake.
It doesn't. No, no, it just doesn't fit. He was, as we've seen in these previous teams, Atletico Madrid and Real Sociedad, he was always the star player. And he's gone to a team where it's full of star players. You know, obviously Atletico Madrid. Don't get me wrong, they are a massive team. They have got star players as well, but he was the main man up front for them. And at Barca, it just isn't working. And he came in the season where Suarez was there as well, so there was a lot of heavy rotation going on, and it just didn't work. And to be fair, Barca, they started playing well as soon as they found the talent in Ansu Fati, and they're really missing him right now because he was young and really, really exciting player. You know, he was doing brilliant for Barca, and to get that injury has really affected them in recent times. So yeah, there's too many factors, and the main factor for me why Barca are not playing well, and it's because of Leo Messi.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, is Messi the
Yeah,
problem? I mean, he might be because, like, everything, like the whole drama they had with him in the off season, it was just
yeah.
not good for the club. And then, like, it's just everything's messy, messy, messy. And
We're not seeing the same player. He's sort of being forced to play by the looks of it. We're not seeing that ambition that he used to have, where he used to run around, you know, try and even fight for the ball. Now he's literally walking. If you watch the games, he's walking and not even trying. So he's being forced to play, you know, and it's just a load of things. It was that drama that he had with the club, and also the fact that he lost Luis Suarez really, really affected him because that was his best friend, let's say, at the club, and it's a shambles now. So
do you think
that was gonna,
it's done with
yeah,
the club? Do you think it's just done? He doesn't want to really play for the club anymore?
yes, he's not happy with how the club's being run. He's not really. He just, I don't know. It's hard because he's always said how much he's loved the club and he always give everything for them. But because of this mess that he's having, and he's also having a lot of personal problems as well. It's not just with the club. Apparently, he did his 10-hour or 14-hour flight the other day from Argentina back to Barcelona, and he already had the Spanish authorities waiting for him at the airport because of the tax money.
Oh
So
wow. Okay. Yeah, that's
yeah,
definitely turning someone off very
so
quickly.
obviously he's having a lot of personal problems as well. That's still not been resolved, the tax problem. So all these things come into play, you know. And this was going to lead on uh, towards City. Why I think as well they've not been playing well because just like Messi, for City, their star player is De Bruyne, and this season, if I'm honest, he's we've not heard anything about De Bruyne. He's been very, very average player, and
Yeah, he just, I mean, I read that like in after they lost to Spurs, like he just kept complaining and complaining about everything else but how the team played. Like he said,
yeah,
like the rules need to be changed about the VAR and all that. And then he complained about the lack of preseason they had. He's been completely, yeah, non-existent this season.
and City over rely on De Bruyne. Let's say he last season and previous seasons, when he's not injured, even last season he was injured for a lot of the season, and his stats were still incredible. And this season, he's just not even a third of what he was last season. You know, he's not been playing to how we know he plays. You know, he loses the ball a lot. His passes have not been accurate. He's shooting, and I think that affects the rest of the team. I know their team. It's not an excuse because how much they're actually worth. It's it's unbelievable. But he is their captain, and like I said, I think they over rely on him, um,
Yeah,
and it just
and they're
isn't
also kind
working
of,
for them.
yeah, they're also missing Sergio Aguero obviously because he only played 2 games so far in
Yeah,
the Premier League and with no goals, and he's their main guy. Like he's there to score them the goals. And then
yeah, he was very.
maybe they missed
Yeah,
David Silva more than they realize because obviously they let him go at the end of the season and he joined Real Sociedad. But yeah, maybe he was kind of, yeah, he was still, even though he's obviously he came of age, but like he was still very important to them.
he was. Yeah, because if we think about it, the time where De Bruyne was injured, he was the man that stepped up. You know, he's the one who really helped the team. Um, Obviously, not just him, but he did play a huge part because he plays in the same position as De Bruyne. He moves the ball. He's the one who orchestrates the team. So he was a big loss, and we're seeing that even in Real Sociedad. He's actually having a good season over there. So it shows what a miss he is. He's a really top player. So
And
yeah, I agree. And
yeah, I
yeah,
think just like with Barca, one of the big problems City have is just like defensively, they're just all over the place. Like even though they kind of spend almost this year, they spent almost 100 million in two new defenders in Nathan Ake and Ruben Diaz, but still they just concede goals left and right, and they actually have a negative goal difference at the moment. Like just
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
that.
Even their position in the table, it's crazy. They're currently in 13th place after the other day, after losing to Tottenham, and they're 8 points away from the leaders, which is massive. Obviously, it's early days, but that is actually that's massive. It's a huge mountain to climb, especially in the Premier League. So yeah, to be fair, Ruben Diaz, I thought when they first got him in, he did a great job, in defence. I thought he was decent. He's not been too bad really, and he really fitted well inside the team. However, yeah, the money that they've spent, obviously Nathan Ake is injured now as well. However, he wasn't going to be a starting player, was he? Because obviously they've got Laporte and now Ruben Diaz. So yeah, he was sort of a backup defender. But I agree that their defense is not been brilliant, and maybe it could be down to Fernandinho. Last season, we've seen him step up, playing in centre back as well, and obviously in his defensive mid position. So maybe he's a huge miss for them, and that could be leading on to maybe the injury problem that City are having. It's affecting them. However, if we compare that to Liverpool, look at their injury problem, and they're still playing brilliant football. So it's hard to tell what could be the problem at City.
Yeah, I mean they had a lot of shots against Tottenham. I think they had over 20 shots, but just couldn't finish. I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's just like it's a combination of Aguero missing and the front play, like the attacking play is just not in form. And then I mean,
yeah,
maybe it's also like a tactical mistake that you like against a team like Tottenham, they only play kind of with one holding midfield in Rodri and
yeah,
like five attacking guys. So if you don't score enough goals, then I mean the chances are high that you weaken defensively because of your setup, and then yeah, that's not how
yeah.
you cannot win games like this.
Yeah, of course, and how they were pushing so far forward trying to get that goal, and we know how dangerous Tottenham can be on the counter. One pass from Kane to Son, for example, and look, it was a goal. So it it was sort of a mistake, let's say tactically. They pushed too far forwards, but Tottenham, fair play to them. They played really well defensively. They were patient and got their two goals. So that was the difference between City and Tottenham the other day. It
So
was the
yeah.
defense.
So do you think that Barca and City are both already out of the title race, or do you think
Uh,
they can still kind of save the season?
it's early, like I said, it's early days. Uh, there's still loads of games to be played. However, it is a huge mountain to climb, and we can't we can't underestimate, let's say, City, because they have got the class there. They have got the star players. So a just good run of form is what they need, really. Get results in and not lose points how they have been, getting these draws and losses. So I think it's still achievable for them, because this season, I don't know if it's because of like you said, the lack of pre-season, no fans, VAR, but it's been a crazy season. That Premier League table keeps ever changing. So yeah, I still think they're not out. City, they can still do it. In for Barca, I think it's tough because they've got too many problems off the pitch that needs to be sorted out and on the pitch. So it's hard, and we're seeing Atletico Madrid, even Real Madrid, playing really well, and other teams as well in La Liga. So Barca, I'd say, are worse off than Man City